You're sitting in a room with family. Two people start arguing. Their voices get sharper. The air changes. You're not part of the fight. No one is asking you to step in, but you feel like you need to react immediately. You start thinking about what to say, how to calm things down, how to make both sides feel understood. Maybe you try to change the subject. Maybe you explain one person's point of view to the other. Maybe you try to soften the tension with a joke. You're not just trying to keep the peace. You actually feel uncomfortable because they are uncomfortable. And inside you, the pressure rises. If they leave the room upset, it will feel like something is unfinished, like something you should have fixed, even when the argument had nothing to do with you. Welcome back to Dose of Confidence. I'm Em, and today we're talking about why we feel responsible for everyone's emotions. A lot of people carry this feeling. When someone around you is upset, you feel responsible for it. It's not always obvious, even to you. Sometimes it shows up as trying to fix things, sometimes as over-explaining, sometimes as apologizing, even when you didn't do anything wrong. You just want everyone to be okay. And when they're not, you don't feel okay. Is this feeling normal? Yes, many people experience it. You notice the mood in the room very quickly, the change in tone, the short replies, the shift in someone's face. And once you notice it, it's hard to ignore it. You start replaying conversations. What should I have said in this situation to resolve it? How can I make them okay? They're upset, and I feel I should do something. Should I explain what the other person meant? Even when you're not really part of this, you simply feel responsible for how things feel around you. But why do we feel responsible for other people's feelings? For many of us, this feeling started early, through repeated moments. Maybe you were the one who tried to calm arguments, the one who explained one person to another. Maybe you were praised for being the reasonable one, the one who understands everyone. Over time, you start paying close attention to people's emotions. You notice tension quickly. You learn how to respond to it. And slowly, a belief can form that if people around me are upset, it's my job to fix it. No one clearly said so, but that role becomes familiar. And once something becomes familiar, it feels like a responsibility. Another reason is empathy. Some people naturally feel the emotions around them very strongly. When someone else is upset, it doesn't stay outside of you. You feel the tension too. The silence in the room becomes uncomfortable. The distance between people becomes heavy. So helping them feel better also feels like helping yourself breathe again. And then there's the simple desire for harmony. None of us enjoys conflict. We prefer when things feel calm and stable. So when emotions rise, your instinct is to restore that calm as quickly as possible, because the discomfort of leaving things unresolved is hard to sit with. There is also something else. Sometimes we start believing that if someone is upset, it must have something to do with us, even when there is no real evidence. You replay the conversation. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe I sounded different than I intended. And before you know it, you're trying to fix something that was never yours to fix. All of this slowly creates a pattern. You notice emotions quickly. You respond to them quickly. And after enough years of doing that, it starts to feel like responsibility. Caring about people's feelings is not the problem. In fact, it's a beautiful quality. You notice when someone is hurt. You try to understand their perspective. You want things to be okay between people. But sometimes that care turns into a heavy sense of responsibility. And instead of understanding someone's feelings, you start carrying them. And instead of listening, you feel the pressure to solve everyone's problems. And then every tense moment feels like something you have to manage, even when the emotions in the room were never yours to begin with. There is a line most of us were never taught, a simple one. You are responsible for what you say, for how you treat people, for the tone you bring into a room, but you are not responsible for how every person feels. Someone can misunderstand you. Someone can have a bad day. Someone can react strongly to something small. Those emotions belong to their experience. You cannot control how other people feel. You shouldn't try to control it because it's their feelings to handle. And when that line becomes clear, you start to form your own healthy boundaries. You can still care about people. You can still listen, but the pressure to manage every emotional moment begins to fade as you start to understand what's really your responsibility and what isn't. In the end, our responsibility is smaller than we often think. It's about being honest, being respectful, being thoughtful with our words. And also, it's about allowing other people to feel what they feel without rushing in to correct it, without trying to smooth every uncomfortable moment, because people feel their feelings in their own way. Many of us grew up believing that keeping everyone comfortable was part of our job, that if someone left upset, we should have done something differently. But life doesn't work that way. People carry their own thoughts, their own worries, their own interpretations of things, and sometimes they will feel upset, even when you did nothing wrong. Peace doesn't always come from fixing every emotion in the room. Sometimes it comes from realizing that you were never meant to carry all of humanity's feelings. If this video helped you, feel free to subscribe and share it with someone who might need it. And let me know what other topics you'd like to hear about next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.